Hello and welcome. I'm Lauren Lewis with Power for Parkinson's. Welcome to our Young Onset Circuit Training class. As always, this class is meant for people with mild symptoms of Parkinson's disease. You do need to be able to exercise for an hour standing. You also will need to get on and off the floor comfortably. Please also make sure you have a chair nearby for safety, and also we will be using a chair for some of our exercises today. You'll also need a set of light weights. If you don't have weights, you can use bottles, water bottles or cans, or you can just use your hands and mimic the motions. Please make sure that you have water for hydration. It's really important this time of year. That's about what we need for today. Let me just also remind you that this class consists of 6 exercises, each done for a timed minute. At the end of these 6 exercises, you will get a full body workout. In addition to that, we'll be working on common symptoms of Parkinson's disease. And today, in addition to all of that, we have a special bonus. All of our exercises in some way will also be dealing with and addressing core. Core is so essential to gait and balance, which is really important for people with Parkinson's disease. So I hope that you will really focus, as I mentioned, as we go through each one, really focus on what we're doing and make sure that you're really holding tight and working on that. Stay around for all 3 rounds because the 3rd round is the most challenging. That's when I challenge your cognition. That's really important for Parkinson's disease. So we'll be doing exercises and a cognitive exercise together. Stay with me. I know you're going to have fun. Let's find a nice spot on the floor. Warm up with me. If you do not like this warm-up, if this warm-up is not for you, please make sure to just run around the house, go up and down your steps, do something for about 3 minutes to make sure that you are prepared for exercise. This is important. You want to make sure that your joints are ready to go so you don't hurt yourself. We're going to put on some music and go for about 3 minutes. Join me. We're going to start off with a march, just right, left. If you can use those arms in an opposite direction, meaning when your right leg goes up, your left arm goes up, join me there. Otherwise, just get those legs moving. All right, we're going to take the arms and inhale up and exhale down. Inhale up and exhale down. Good, march it out. Widen your legs and march. Bring it back in. Add a heel. Front, back, front, back, front, back, front, back, arms out, in, out, in, out, in, out. March a little quicker. March. Heels faster. Front, 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 front. Keep the heels, change the arms, out. Bring those arms up. Back to the front. Knee lifts, up, up, up. Doubles, 2, 2. Back to singles for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and march. Open up. Bring it back in. Open up. Now we're going to go down. Really warming up those quads. For 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, bring it back in. All right, bring those arms overhead. And exhale out. Perfect. All right. Never just stop after you've done something cardio or aerobic. Make sure you never just stop. You want to kind of walk it off. Grab some water now before we get started, just to kind of ease yourself down and lower that blood pressure, lower your heart rate. All right, so as I said earlier, we've got 6 exercises. The first round, we're going to learn the exercises, make sure we've got our form working, make sure we understand what we're doing. The second round, we're going to address why we're doing this for Parkinson's. And the third round, the challenge round, stick around with me because this is the one that's going to kick your butt. This is the one I love the best. So let's start with our first exercise. The first exercise is the chair squat. We're going to need a chair. You're going to need your weights, if you have them. We're going to do a chair squat, which means we're going to start in the chair. Your arms are down here. We're going to add a curl and a press. So a curl and a press is a curl, a bicep curl. We're not throwing the weights. We're not swinging the weights. We're going to place those weights down here, curl to our shoulders, and press. As we're doing that, we're going to push our heels down. Make sure your legs are in front of you. You're going to push your heels down, stand, and reach fully overhead, working glutes, legs, quads, shoulders, and biceps. Once again, sitting tall, heels down, up, and reach. If using your hands with the weights becomes difficult for you or you lose your balance, use your hands here, still working all those large muscles that we want to. Push down. Once you find your balance, try to reach up, bring them back down, hands on your thighs, and sit. That's a great modification and will keep you safe. I'm going to pick up my weights, put on our 1-minute timer, put on our music, and get started. Here we go. Legs in front, abs tight, big smile. Here we go. Push down on those heels. Make sure you're standing nice and tall. Bring your shoulders up instead of forward. Try not to swing and sway with your hips. Try to push down and lift. This is a great full body exercise. We're using legs, both sides, front and back. We're using arms and shoulders. And of course, core. You can feel your belly pulling in every time you lift. Almost done. First exercise. And all right, nice. Let's put our weights down. The next exercise we're going to do, we need to get on the floor. We're going to be doing a bird dog. Let me get the chair out of the way. So a bird dog, you can do them in a lot of different ways. You can start off on your hands and knees. Bird dog is basically you're going to lift your right opposite limbs. So I'm going to lift my right arm and my left, and this is a balance exercise. This actually is a core exercise. Just trying to hold it right there, even out your limbs so your shoulders and arms are, leg and arms are even. You don't want to be tilting. And then you're going to just keep switching. This is not done quickly. This is done slowly so you can find that center of gravity. If you want to make this just a little more fun, and by fun I always mean harder, you can take this to a bear, which means you're hovering and you're lifting right here. As you can see by the way I'm going, it's much harder. And then the third way is to take yourself into a plank, and again, right there. Find it. So those are the 3 different ways of going. You can challenge yourself a little more by coming off the ground. I encourage you to stay on the ground. Find it first. Make sure you've really found that balance, really working on your core, and kick it up a notch once you've got that part. So we're going to put our music on and our timer and work on this for a minute. I almost said an hour. We're not going to work on it for an hour. Here we go. Pull your belly tight. Really reach. Feel your wrists and your ankles pulling away from each other. Try to lift evenly. Don't kid yourself. This is a really difficult exercise to force that body even. Pull tight. Let your core help you. And all right, you can sit back on your heels for a second and just relax and release your back. We're going to stay on the ground for the next exercise. You're going to need your weights again. The next exercise is we're going to put ourselves in a bridge, over on our back. Put yourself into a bridge position, which is lifting your hips off the floor. And we're going to take your hands, those weights right above your head. We're going to do skull crushers, aptly named because you're keeping the weights over by your skull, and one arm at a time you're going to reach to the ceiling, working your triceps, back of your arm. While we're doing that, we're working our glutes and hamstrings, large muscles behind. But we're going to make it a little more fun. So you can keep your hips down. We're going to lift opposite marching bridges. So you're going to lift the opposite knee with the opposite arm, coming up and down, or you can stay down and just lift the knee. That's another option. Still working your core, still working your glutes and your hamstrings, or you can come up and down each time you lift. So those are 3 different modifications or 3 different ways of doing this exercise. We're going to put our timer back on and our music. Here we go. Working glutes and triceps. If you find you're cramping, drop your hips to the floor. That will help. Try to keep those weights over by the top of your head to really work those triceps. Time. All right, roll yourself up before you get up. Bring yourself to all fours. We're going to get up safely. You're going to take your dominant leg, most of you that's your right leg, and bring it at 90-degree angle in front. Hands on that thigh, leg behind you. You can bring that toe on the floor if you can. Otherwise, most of your weight is here on your front. Push down and lift yourself up, keeping your head above your chest. Safest way to lift yourself up. I'm going to grab these weights and get it out of my way. Actually, I'm going to grab the weights for our next exercise. The next exercise we're going to do is a walking lunge with a curl. A lunge is a 90 degrees. The safest way to do this, you take one leg forward. You want a 90 degree in both legs. If you bring that toe in front, you're putting your knee at some risk. It's not going to hurt you today, but you want to make sure that you're really keeping that knee safe. So you want to keep it at 90. We're just going to walk forward with these lunges. So we're going to take a step forward and use the opposite arm and do one curl. Stand up, step forward, take the opposite leg and go forward and do another curl. And the third walk is step forward, both arms. So it's single, single, and then both arms together. Single, single, and now both arms together, both. And you have to just keep reminding yourself to go with the opposite arm and leg. This is a quadricep exercise and bicep. Again, working on those large muscles, but by walking and sitting and reaching forward, we are still using our core. Let's put on our music and our timer and work on this one. Hopefully you have a little more room than I do. And you can feel yourself kind of losing your balance a little, yeah? That's okay. Triggering all those receptors in your brain to remind you where you are in space to keep you safe. Make sure your knee is forward. Step big. And all right. The next exercise, again, you're going to need your weights for. This exercise is a shoulder deltoid exercise, but I'm going to add a knee lift with it. By lifting the knee, we're also working on glutes and quads, but we're also working on balance because we're standing on one leg. We're going to do a figure 8 with these weights. Instead of a figure 8 way down here, we're going to bring it over here by our shoulders, and that's why we're going to be working a lot more on the shoulder. It's a shoulder exercise. Standing tall, if you're leaning forward, you're going to feel this more in your lower back. Make sure you're standing nice and tall and just doing nice big figure 8s over each shoulder. We're going to put the music back on and let's get going. Stand tall, abs tight, working on balance, as well as shoulders. Those shoulders are going to start kicking in pretty soon. That's why I love this exercise. Feeling this? And nice work. We can put these weights down finally, huh? All right, our last round is a cardio round. This is just to work on your heart, that muscle. So we want to go as fast as we can, as hard as we can. We're going to be doing squat jumps. So I'm going to ask you to just sit back in that invisible chair, push off your toes, and lift. This is important for speed. If you find yourself moving a little slower, you want to make sure that this is important for building large muscles, strong muscles. And of course, whenever you're jumping, it's all balance. So let's put our music back on. You can also have some fun with this and change direction. Let's put our music on and work on the jumping first, and then we'll change the direction once we get started. Here we go. Come up, land on your toes and your heels. Don't stay on those toes the whole time. Toe and heel, sit back. Here we go. Now we can have a little more fun once you get it by turning. Oh boy, that's fun. If jumping for a full minute is hard for you, that's okay. You can take this just down and up, nice and quick. Take it to an air squat, just sitting and standing, sitting and standing. You can go a little quicker. That'll get your heart rate up. Still working those large muscles, still getting that heart rate up. I can feel it. All right, good for you. Give yourself a hand. You made it through the round one. Grab some water. We're gonna go through this all over again, the exact same exercises. This time, we're gonna focus on the benefits for you and your Parkinson's symptoms. Please remember, it does not matter if you have these symptoms or not. You can still get a lot out of it, still always benefit from the exercise. All right. So we started off with the chair squat with the curl and press. This exercise I threw in because getting in and out of the chair is a great functional exercise. It works on core, it works on balance. But I also threw in the arms because I want to work on posture. I'm reminding your body to stand nice and tall and on range of motion. That's one of those symptoms that people don't even realize they're losing. Arms are here. I want you to look to make sure your arms are fully extended over your head, not in front, right here. So we're going to put our music and timer back on. Think about sitting, curling, and really reaching over your head, full length, using your abdominals, stretching out those abdominals. Here we go. Make sure your legs are in front of you, not underneath the chair. Almost done. Stay with it. You're doing great. It's a long time, right? And yay, good job, nice. All right. So the next exercise, we're gonna hit the floor. We're gonna do those bird dogs. And again, this exercise is all about core and balance, which is so important for Parkinson's, but it also works on opposites, which is important for gait. You're much more balanced. You'll actually move further forward instead of small steps when you're using opposites. So we're retraining or reinforcing those motions. So come on down with me on the ground. We're going to lift your right and left together and then opposites. All right, we've got 1 minute. Really think about using those opposites and pulling your core in nice and tight. Here we go. Try not to let your hips fall or lift. Keep a nice even plank, long tabletop position. Make sure your hands are under your shoulder. And done. All right, let's grab those weights again. We're gonna go back, roll over, and do those marching bridges with opposite skull crushers. This is, again, the purpose of this. We're using a lot of core. It's a great glute and leg and arm exercise, but for Parkinson's, it's all about balance, using your core, and using those opposites. You can visualize, you can actually see your hands and your knees going up in opposites. So it helps to reinforce those opposites, that contralateral movement when you can see them. So let's get in position, put our music back on, think about really using those opposites. Try not to use both arms at the same time. Here we go. Try not to rush through this. Push down on your heel. And whoo! I was enjoying that. I almost didn't pay attention to the time. I really love those. All right, let's roll over. Once again, take your more dominant leg, bring it in front, 90 degrees, pushing down. Come on up, join me standing. We're gonna need those weights again for our walking lunge. The walking lunge, once again, reinforces those opposites, but it also, because you're stepping forward, it reminds you to take larger steps. Going away from those small steps that you probably don't realize you may be taking, forcing you to remind yourself to take bigger, longer steps. By exaggerating those steps, you'll actually remind your body to go to a more normal forward motion. And of course, because we're using opposites, we're reinforcing that as well. And because I threw in the two arms, we threw in a little cognitive pattern. So let's put on our music, really take those long steps this time instead of just worrying about taking a lunge. Here we go. Whoop. And there's our time. Good. Hopefully you're really feeling those in your legs and of course in your upper body. All right, we're gonna move on to our figure eights. This exercise works on core. We're balancing core. We're standing on one leg and we're throwing our center of gravity off by doing these figure eights. Of course, we're strengthening and using our shoulders, our deltoids, and our legs, but we're also working on posture, standing tall to not throw our balance off. We're also working on rigidity, on working against rigidity, making your body work a little more fluid so you're not so tight. A lot of people find that their trunk or their neck becomes very rigid. This exercise will help remind your body to be a little more fluid. Let's put on our time and music, and let's get going. Here we go. Try not to lean back or forward. Try to stand nice and tall. Tuck your hips underneath you, shoulders up. Getting into those obliques by twisting a little, yeah? Almost done. And nice work. All right, we can put them down again. All right, we're up to the cardio. Again, take it whatever works right for you. We want to get the heart rate up. So if the jumping doesn't work, take yourself down and come up to your toes. That's a great exercise. Also, because it still strengthens your legs and those large muscles, but it will get your heart rate up. Or mix it up. Do some jumps, some standing, whatever it takes to get that heart rate up. Let's go. All right, we've got just a few more seconds to go. Kick it up, come on, come on. Let's kick it up, just a few more. And done. Walk it off. Get your heart rate down, grab some water. All right, here's what I've been promising the whole time, the challenge round. Here's your chance to really challenge yourself. We're going to do all those same exercises again. We're working on the large muscle, working on good form. We're working on making sure that we're exaggerating these motions so that we can fight some of these symptoms that we may be experiencing. And now we're going to use a cognitive challenge. For each one of these exercises, I'm going to give you something to think about or work on. Grab your chair. First exercise is the chair squats with the curl and press. Every time you come up into that press, I want you to come up with one of your teacher's names. A name that one of your teachers from kindergarten through wherever you finished school. A teacher. You can come up in, I don't care if they're in order. I don't care if they're out of order. I don't care if they're your kids' teachers' names. Think of someone, a teacher that you've had or someone's had, you know, that your kids have had, and just come up with their names every time you come up. All right, here we go. Timer on. Okay, I'm starting from kindergarten. I remember her name. Here we go. Mrs. Crawford. Reach. All right. I hope you had as much fun as I did with that one. I came up with teachers I totally forgot about, but they came to me when I had to think about them. I'm going to get the chair out of the way. The next one is the bird dog. Come on down, hit the floor. Have those weights nearby for your marching skull crushers if you want. All right, now this one, every time you bring those arms up, oh no, counting, yeah, each time you come up. When you lift your right arm and your left leg, right arm, left leg, I want you to count by threes up. 3, 6, 9, just keep counting up. On the left side, I want you to, left arm, right leg. Every time you lift, I want you to count by threes down, starting at 175. So up is counting just by 3, 3, 6, 9, keep going. But on the left side, I want you to count down 175 minus 3. Here we go. All right, that side's easy. How'd we do? Hard, right? Good. Were you able to maintain good form? Pulling your belly in, lifting those arms and legs evenly while counting? All right, our next exercise is the marching bridge. This time, I want you to spell your name. Every time you lift your knee or your arm up, you're going to spell your name. If you have a short name, put a middle name in. So you're going to spell it out, and once you finish spelling it out, you're going to spell it backwards. And then you'll spell it forwards and backwards for the whole minute. If your name is really, really easy, if it's Bob Smith, see if you can't find another friend that may have a harder name. Okay? Here we go. Up, bridge. Okay, I'm in position. You ready? Here we go. All right, I wanted to finish my name. How'd we do on that? All right, so we're gonna put those weights out of our way so we stay safe. Roll over onto your all fours, one leg in front, hands on your thighs, head nice and tall, lift up. Pick up your weights by bending at the knees, not dropping your head. Now we're gonna do the walking lunges. And again, let's use each side differently. So each time you go, your right arm curls with your left leg forward, you're going to come up with a color. Each time your left arm curls with your right leg, you're going to come up with a fruit. And when both arms curl, you don't do either. You just curl. Colors, fruit, nothing. Colors, fruit, nothing. Here we go. Nice big steps. Time. All right, good. The next exercise is our standing figure eight shoulder while standing on one leg, each knee lifts. Make sure you're lifting hip height. Now I want you to think of, this is a fun one, jobs, careers or jobs that start with the letter T. If you can't think of it, hold it until you can. Adding an extra balance to that, and just keep going as you think of one. Each time you go to one side, think of one. Go to the next side, think of one. Try to get as many as you can. I don't want you to stand here for a minute. So if you can't come up with one quick enough, just keep moving and try to keep thinking of one. Okay? Here we go. All right. I've been doing this, practicing and all, getting ready for this class. So I came up with a few more today than I've come up while I was practicing. But did you come up with toll booth taker? That was the one that I came up with today that I started laughing, going, yes, there's another one, toll booth. Okay, we're going to finish up with jumps, jump squats or jumps. I want you to come up with different types of books. There's a million genres of books that people enjoy. Think of as many genres as you can, different types of books. And if you can't come up with a genre, then come up with a type of book. Okay? It doesn't have to be, whatever, whatever. I mean, like cocktail table. You get it. Okay? Whatever you can think out of the box, think in the box. Books. Here we go. Almost done. Home stretch. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Yay! High five. Yes, yes. Give yourself a hand. Walk it off. Get your heart rate down. Breathe slowly with me so that we stay safe. Together we inhale. Exhale. Nice inhale. And exhale. Let's do it 2 more times to make sure we are safe. Our heart rate comes down slowly. Last time. Do you feel the difference? It's slowing down? Yeah. All right. Let's grab the chair again for our cool down. I'm going to grab that chair to one side. Let's hold on to one leg. We're going to stretch the front of your leg. You can do this by holding on to your ankle or foot. If you're holding a pant, if you're wearing pants, your pant leg, you're going to make sure that your knee faces the floor and that hip is straight. If your hip is collapsed, if you're here, that's not really stretching, so I'm going to give you something else to do. If that hip does not fully extend and you're bent, let's take that leg behind you, put your weight on the chair instead of that leg, and just lengthen that leg with a soft knee. Just lengthen. Now you should feel it where everybody else is feeling it. They're holding it behind. I don't feel it when I hold it behind. This is a much better stretch for me. They're both good stretches. It depends on each body. So we're just holding it here. Good, and let's just hum for about 10 seconds together. Great. We're going to do the same thing on the other side again, either grabbing hold from behind, making sure your hip is fully extended. If not, the leg goes behind, your knee is soft, your weight is forward, so you're not putting weight on the leg, you're just stretching, and you feel it right throughout here. We know studies have shown by singing or holding a note, it gives, it's great for working on vocal strength, so that's why we're humming and holding notes. Let's just say the letter A for another 10 seconds. A. All right, so that's the back of the leg, the front of the leg. Now we work the back of the leg. We're going to have a seat. You can do this on the floor in your chair. We're going to take one leg, ankle over thigh. And depending on how flexible you are, you may feel the stretch right here. If you need to feel a little more, you can lean into it a little further and just gently, not yanking, not pulling, but just gently drop that knee to your side as much as you can. Hold it right there. Feel a nice stretch in your glute in the back of your legs. And now we're going to say the letter B, also working on a smile. B. Great. All right. Drop that leg. Bring the other leg up. We're still working on those glutes. Knee or ankle over knee. This knee pushes down toward the floor. You can lean into it or just sit nice and tall, holding it right here. Get into those muscles, lengthen and strengthen those muscles, and together we're going to say the letter O. O. Great job. All right, let's go over to the wall. I'm going to do a stretch for our shoulders, chest, and back. I'm going to hold the hands up above us. Arch your back and just push your chest into that wall. You're going to feel a nice stretch throughout your shoulders and your chest. Just lengthen. Bring those arms. If you're not feeling it, stretch a little higher, step a little further back. Really arch. Make sure your back is flat and just hold it here. And let's say the letter I. I. All right. Oh, that's my favorite stretch. All right, so we've gone this way. Now we're going to go forward. Drop your chin to your chest. Lean all the way to me. Round out your back so you're feeling a nice stretch in your upper back and your top of your shoulders. And let's say la. La. Good. Arms open to the side. Open up your chest. Reach all the way up. Lengthen your abdominals. The one muscle we used in every single exercise today. We strengthen those muscles, working a lot on balance and core. Reach all the way up as high as you can. Lengthen, stretch, reach. Stay right here. Think about what a great job you did today, and you did. All the work and effort you put in, I appreciate it all. You did a great job. We are going to finish with a big yay because we deserve it. We did a great job today. Together we say, yay! All right, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you will work on this put it over, do it a few times, put it back on later in the week. See if you can't just get a little better each time you do it. Maybe work on speed with each one. See how many you can fit in a minute and try to make it get one more in or two more in. And then maybe go even slower so you're working more on the muscles. The slower you go, the more muscular, the faster you go, the more you're working on speed. Different ways of working out the same exercises. Give it a try. Practice as much as you can. Play with it. Kick it up a notch. Kick it up a gear, as we like to say. Thank you for joining me. I will see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.